have come to take refuge in the town. When they come, they abduct children, which is their priority.
Today I'm in Gulu, northern Uganda, where a tragic story is unfolding that's affecting the lives of thousands and thousands of children. Every night, over 40,000 children, some as young as 5 years old, leave their villages to take refuge in the towns of northern Uganda. As many as 14,000 of these children find safety each night in the town of Gulu. These boys and girls carry only a mat to sleep on. They must walk as far as 8 miles to escape abduction and rape and violent attacks by the Ugandan rebels. Most of these children end up sleeping on the streets. These are Uganda's forgotten children. Can you imagine thousands of children walking into your city or town every night at dusk? Many of these children aren't even able to go to school. Those that do are forced to do their homework in the dark. These children have no jobs, no place to live, nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat. They literally have nothing but the clothes on their backs. They walk each night to avoid being killed or abducted or raped or forced into sex slavery. Many children feel it would even be better to be killed than to live the way they are living.
Even up to now, children still live in fear. They don't know what will happen. They cannot yet go back home, in the village, in the outskirts of the municipality.
Over the past 10 years, more than 1.5 million people have fled from their villages to the squalor and hopelessness of overcrowded refugee camps. The sheer mass of people in these camps is staggering. Water is precious, toilets are non-existent, and health centers have few drugs and little staff. 80% of the refugees are women and children who are homeless and struggling to survive. Many are subjected to sexual violence, inhumane abuse, and exploitation. 20,000 child soldiers have been abducted by the so-called Lord's Resistance Army. The LRA preys on children because they are so easily influenced. As soon as they are abducted, they are violently forced to kill immediately. Many children are even forced to kill their own family, their own brothers, sisters, and mothers and fathers. The LRA's goal is to put so much shame and guilt on these young boys and girls that they feel they can never go home again. And those children who have managed to escape from this hellish existence are often traumatized beyond description.
If I am staying in the bush, you call your name. Girl, you come first, you go and kill that person. You do a lot of things that your life can be destroyed. Yeah?
During my visit to Gulu, members of our team met with the Vice President. We discussed how World Help could partner with Uganda to help with this crisis and to make a difference in reducing AIDS and poverty. Our medical team saw hundreds of patients, treating diseases like malaria and cholera and AIDS. At one clinic, in a very remote part of the Ugandan bush, over 400 people came to receive care from our medical team. Some walked as far as 20 miles. It made me realize what Jesus must have felt when he looked out over the multitudes with compassion. But the truly amazing and gripping story is the plight of these forgotten children. I'd heard about them, but now I was seeing them with my own eyes. While I was in Gulu, I met hundreds of homeless children. Those who were captured and had managed to escape live in constant fear of being abducted again. Countless young girls have been infected with AIDS by these rebel soldiers. All of them have terrifying nightmares. They couldn't even tell me their stories without shaking and crying. One girl I met was named Grace. She was abducted into the army when she was only 11 years old. She became pregnant by one of the soldiers. They killed her baby. And when she tried to flee, she was captured and severely beaten before she could finally escape.
My father was also abducted. And my father was killed. So my father was killed and I was left alone.
Moses shared with me how he was abducted and forced to kill his brother. Can you imagine? The rebels put a gun to his head and told him that if he didn't kill his brother, that they would kill him. The more children I met and the more I experienced, the more I knew that God wanted world help to do something to help these suffering, forgotten children. Several of our partners in the Gulu area told me that they desperately want to help these children, but they simply have no way to meet this great need, and they've asked us for our help. They shared their vision of establishing 10 Good Samaritan Children's Centers. These centers will provide food and clothing and medicine, as well as education assistance and trauma and grief counseling for Uganda's forgotten children. These children will hear the gospel, they will be taught the Word of God, and they will see the love of Jesus Christ in action. We live in a culture where our youth and children are valued and cared for. But I find it hard to believe that children in Uganda are living in these deplorable conditions and the world is not crying out in protest. These atrocities are barely mentioned in the media. These children truly are forgotten. We must do something to help these suffering children immediately. We can begin today to make a difference in the lives of hundreds of Uganda's forgotten children. We cannot allow this tragic and horrific crisis to go unanswered. We must do something. We must make an impact. We must find a way to stop this insanity, and we must never, ever forget. So I ask you to please pray for these precious children. Partner with us to provide food and clothing and medicine to meet their immediate needs, and help us provide help for today and hope for tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless you.